Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cody the Coin Raptor, and I want to break down the charts for you today. Today has been a crazy day in the crypto space. The whole weekend, we saw prices in Bitcoin decline and crypto decline across the board here, and I'm going to try to make sense of it all right now. Bitcoin currently is at 21,000, about 600 or so. So, some important things I want to point out here is that the Bitcoin price has now fallen under this 200-week moving average, the simple moving average, not the exponential, but the simple moving average, and it rarely does this. I mean, if you look back in history, it's only crossed under it just a couple of times. So that's pretty significant as far as a bearish sign goes. I would say that going under this level is extremely rare, but it doesn't mean that it can't drop further from that. Another thing I want to go ahead and highlight is the fact that this at the bottom here I have the open interest. This is like the total of all open futures contracts and option contracts, and it's been massively increasing. And so what this means is all these options contracts and all these futures contracts are currently open. They have not been closed, and that means that we're going to see huge volatility, either to the upside or, in this case, mostly to the downside. So that's another thing to watch out for here, highlighted in green. And then in addition to that, I also have on the left here what we call volume profiles. And this shows you, based on the price, where volume has occurred. And so what we've seen here is that in the initial bull market and the run up from about December of 2020 to about around this area here at about 28,000 or so, there's not really a lot of historical volume. You look over here and you can see over here it's just extremely tiny volume from about 20,000 or so up until you hit about 28,000. So as soon as Bitcoin fell through that 28,000 region here that I highlighted, this red trend line, there's not a lot of historical volume in that area. So not, it's very thin here, which means that it can also be more volatile as well. So that's the reason why we've seen such a massive dump in the price right now. And that's in addition to the macroeconomic problems that we've seen and the stock market also dumping pretty heavily. And another thing that possibly triggered this is the fact that Celsius, the exchange Celsius, has prevented any crypto withdrawals whatsoever. And there's been speculation that the reason why they've done this is because they're currently unable to pay back the current users of Celsius. So if they went to go withdraw their funds from the Celsius platform, they would be unable to fulfill those orders. So Celsius is facing insolvency, and if that's the case, then this would be the second high-profile crypto platform that's failed right after Terra and the UST disaster that we had. So that's also putting selling pressure onto Bitcoin as well. So what we have here is the next level of support for Bitcoin that I'll be looking at right now is about this 20,000 trend line here that I have right here at about 20,000. And the reason why the support here I think is going to be fairly strong is because it's both the start of a larger amount of historical volume here, and on top of that, it was the very top of the 2018 Bitcoin bull market. So that's what I'm looking at right now. It'll hopefully find support. If it keeps going down, hopefully it'll find support here at 20K. And then if it goes past that and it falls through that level, we'll have to look at some other support levels. All right. So right now, again, things are looking very bearish for Bitcoin. Now, I also want to go ahead and talk to you about the DXY, or the dollar index. And as I've said many times on my Twitter account, Bitcoin oftentimes trades at inverse to this dollar index. So as the dollar index, as it climbs, Bitcoin will fall. And as you can see here, I don't have a trend line here, but the previous top was about $103, and it's recently just broken through again after coming down just a little bit. It's popped back up again to make a new high at this point. So this is consistent with what we've seen in the last couple of weeks of Bitcoin's decline. And now we're expecting that if this pushes any higher, it's also going to drive the price of Bitcoin down as well. And I would expect this to go higher if the Fed keeps increasing the funding rate, which I think is going to wind up happening. So the funding rate makes essentially the dollar more expensive by increasing the amount of interest that you have to pay for loans. Okay, so that's another thing also weighing on the Bitcoin as well. And this is also something I'm paying attention to. So if you guys are interested in this, follow my Twitter account. I'm following all these indicators here. And then I also want to talk about Ethereum. Ethereum also facing the same problems that we're talking about with Bitcoin. It broke through support. It tested its own level of the simple 200-week moving average, and it failed. It fell right through that, and right now it's at about 1176 or so. If we take a look at the volume profile for this, you can see, again, the volume in this area is extremely weak historically. And the next price action that we're going to see here at the high levels is going to be about 675 or so in that region. And the next level of support that we're going to see is, I would say, about possibly down to 900 is what we're looking at here. Because we had we had this head and shoulders pattern for ETH. We have one shoulder, head, and another shoulder, and then it broke here below this neckline level, and it fell through. It might retrace all the way back up here to approximately 700 or so. But the next support level is going to be about 900 and then 700 below that. Okay, so again, I'm following all these things, and if you guys are interested, if you want to see more from me, just let me know. If you want to see more content or you want to see different content, please like the video and leave a comment and subscribe or follow me. I really appreciate it. And that's all I got for you. Stay safe out there. This is Cody the Coin Raptor signing out.